Well, let me just first of all say, we, like in every early season exhibition game, there's good and there's bad, and there's things as a coach you're always looking for your team to improve on. But I like the fact that we scored 105, yet turned it over 23 times. We had the chance to probably score a lot more points. So we turned it over too many times. We got to get a lot better there. I thought probably for us, we saw a glimpse, in the first part of the second half of our team defensively when we were pretty good. We have to sustain that for longer periods of time, but I liked our defense at the start of the second half. But, again, we can learn a lot from today. And, the young guys, I thought, did a good job. They're blending in pretty good, so we just need to make sure we keep improving.
How valuable are those three young guys in the open court?
Well, they're very good players. And I think the way that we run the ball is going to give them some opportunities to play in the open floor. And, I think it's like every young player on every team in America, you're trying to find exactly how you fit in, into the system, into the offense, and they're learning that. But I think they're going to get better. But I think they're all different, unique, and I think they all can certainly help us, which they will.
How much emphasis is the decision to start Richard Howell on the bench?
Well, I've got a high expectation for our guys every day, and wasn't necessarily one thing, but he knows that I expect a lot of him, a lot out of him each and every day, and it was my decision I made last night, and I thought he did a nice job. He came right in the game with great energy. He didn't pout. He didn't put his head down. I think he did a nice job, but I'm not sure that's something we'll see a lot of, but that was important for us to do that today.
How much emphasis did you put on improving the defense in the second half?
That was the key. That was the whole key at halftime. Was we got to take 1-2 steps a little closer to them. We've got to get after them a little harder, put a little bit more pressure on the ball, disrupt their offense. I don't think in the first half we did that very much. I think they ran pretty much anything they wanted to run, and we didn't do a very good job. We gave up 43 points in the first half. And so the defensive pressure and the defensive intensity is something that we have to have each and every night, and that was pretty evident there, I thought, early in the second half.
How do you feel your guys shared the ball as a whole for the game?
Pretty good. I liked our unselfish play. I think we had 21 assists, which is pretty good. Yet, we turned it over 23 times, which is entirely too much. So we've got to improve in that. But we're trying to play together. If you remember last year, I thought our team was a very unselfish team. I think we'll have that same type group this year.
Playing at that speed, is that something you're going to have to continue to work on, the turnovers, because you're playing a lot faster?
You're going to turn it over a little bit more when you play an up-tempo style. That's somewhat natural. But, we just had too many careless, situations with the ball. We were loose with the basketball. We had, 4 or 5 long outlet passes that were intercepted or out of bounds. And, we got to be a lot better with the basketball. That's going to be a big thing for our team this year.
You were really vocal, it seemed like, with Rodney, especially of the freshman. What's he been like in practice, and then was he maybe a little more nervous than anybody else? He just seemed a little anxious early on.
No, I think that Rodney is such a great athlete, and a lot of times when you play high school basketball, you can pace yourself throughout a game, and you can kind of pick your spots to go a little harder. And at our level, you can't. People make you pay. He's such a good athlete. He's so strong and quick. I want him to become a guy that defensively can guard a big-time perimeter, offensive player. And so I challenge him every day. It's a little bit new, not a role, because he's still going to score for our team, but he's got to develop a little bit more of a defensive shutdown mentality, which he can, because I wouldn't want him to guard me if he really gets committed to becoming a big-time defender. So that's where we got to get him to.
TJ really got going in the second half. Just talk about how good that was to see.
Yeah, TJ, when he makes, I think he made 8 field goals, and typically when I've watched him play a lot, his 8 baskets usually are of every variety. That's one thing about him that makes him such a good scorer. Now, he might make a 3, or he might make an 8-footer or a 10-footer or an offensive tip in. I mean, he just finds ways to score, and he seems to make good decisions. He had a charge there late when he tried to pass it, and he needs to learn how to make a 2-foot jump stop. But he makes good decisions. And, in our live action with officials, the red-white game, we scrimmaged East Carolina the other night, and in a again tonight, boy, he's scoring at a pretty efficient pace. I mean, he's 8 for 10 for the field tonight. That's kind of par for the course for him.
You mentioned playing him some up front. How's he been handling that as well?
I think good. You know, he's the only guy on the team that I'm asking in our system to learn multiple positions, the wing and the forward position. So we're throwing a lot at him, and sometimes that can make you a little bit uncomfortable, and I think he's okay with it. He's getting there. You know, it's a lot for him. But, you know, there's more minutes to get, too, if you learn more in one spot. So he's doing a pretty good job there.
Coach, the team shot 18% from three. Is that something you're really concerned with going forward?
Our team?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought we actually shot a couple long ones, and, you know, I think we could be better there. You know, Scott went 2 for 7. You know, Lorenzo 0 for 2, so those guys went 2 for 9. And, you know, we'll get better there. I think we're going to be a pretty good three-point shooting team. Just didn't seem to make them tonight.
Can you talk about Tyler Lewis on defense? I think that was like a big question coming in, and he actually looked, you know, pretty good. He was denying the ball, and when they tried to go at him, they weren't very successful.
No, and I think Tyler's going to get better defensively. I don't know that he'll ever be a guy that physically can just maybe shut somebody down. Where he has to get good is really, you know, understanding exactly what an opponent is trying to do, and you know, intelligently put his body in the right places at the right times, and he'll get better there. I thought he was pretty good defensively tonight, though. Pretty good. I thought their guards were pretty quick. Those little guys were, you know, kind of tough to guard, so that was a good challenge for our young guys.
Tyler came in for a while and Lorenzo moved off the ball. Talk about that combination and what that brings.
Well, I like to play, Lorenzo's going to play a lot. And Tyler needs to play too, you know, so it gives us an opportunity when they're together to have 2 ball handlers and 2 guys that can bring it into break. And you know, we'll see. We did that a lot last year with Alex, and we'll take a look and see if that's the right things for us to do on this team too. But if Tyler only, you know, subs for Lorenzo exclusively, you know, then not a lot of minutes there, because Lorenzo's going to play a lot, and so we got to find other ways to get Tyler in there as well.
Can you speak a little bit about the ability of Brown and C.J. Leslie to, you know, keep this team up tempo whenever it seemed like they were hanging their heads a little bit offensively?
Well, I just think the defense did that. I thought that was where, you know, Lorenzo had a couple, 2 or 3 steals in a row. Calvin had some as well. And our defense generated not only offensive baskets in the open floor, but they just generated energy. All of a sudden, our team had much more energy than we did the first 20 minutes. And I don't think it was only those 2. I thought, you know, Richard, I thought was another guy defensively there in the second half that was really good as well.